It's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by former world champion Terri Harper. Terri, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
How does it feel going into a big fight, but as the challenger this time around? I know it's not the first time that's happened, but at this stage of your career, I imagine, you thought you'd be a world champion many times over. You've done very well already. How does it feel going in as not the underdog, I don't think, with the bookies, but the challenger?
I would start off by saying I'm very grateful, obviously, for the opportunity. Coming off my last couple of fights and the results, I understand that I'm very lucky and to be in the position to be coming down to a new weight and be jumping straight into a world title fight. So I am grateful for that, and I fully understand that this is probably my back's really up against the ropes now, and this is probably my last roll of the dice really to go out there and get a good win and become freeweight world champion.
Do you have any regrets about the move up? Obviously, it brought success at 154, not so much in your last fight, but do you regret making the move up and then having to come back down as much as you have?
I won't say regrets, but I think if I was to start my boxing career again, there would be a few things I'd do different, and that probably one of them would be rebuild. Like after the Alicia fight, that would be to just have rebuilt at 135. But the opportunity were there to become a two-weight world champion, and yeah, we just went with the opportunity really. And then I think another thing I would change if I were to start my boxing career again would be I wouldn't do all the strength and conditioning work, because I feel like once I started with the strength and conditioning, naturally I put on muscle and muscle mass, and I think that's really when I started to struggle to make super featherweight. So that's when I had to move up, and I feel like when I jumped up to 154 and I'm weight training, it really made me I was really muscular then, and really I feel like I was slow and a bit stiffer, and just everything just didn't flow. And then I've not been strength training now for probably coming up 2 years, and naturally my body's come back down to a more natural weight. And I know there are a lot of concern of people thinking I'd not be able to make lightweight, but little do they know it's so much easier for me to make lightweight than it was to make 154 pounds.
How have you been feeling in the gym at kind of a little bit above lightweight when you're sparring and doing your pad work and stuff?
Oh, so much. So just fluid, everything just flows, and it's like I feel like I've kind of got this like free speed back, and I think that's just being at a lower weight, just naturally lighter on my feet, and feel like I've got quick hands and stuff like that. It's just easier to train, not carrying all this extra weight around.
How do you compare the you now to the one who first started out in her pro career and won that first world title at Super Feather? How have you changed?
My confidence, self-belief, all the experience I've really gained over the years throughout my professional career. And despite my last couple of performances and the results, I feel like I need to remember I can't let that define me, and just remember um, everything I've picked up along the way, and the experiences and the lessons learned. And for me now, I need to go and use all of that, all of those ingredients from all these fights, to go out there and put on a great show and a dominant performance on the 28th.
And you mentioned the last fight at the start. How much of that, in your view, the performance was due to the extra weight?
I remember, so it's a bit of a strange one. Like I said before, that's going into the Sandy Ryan fight. That's the most confident I've ever felt um, going into a fight in my career, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I've just been on the big stage that many times now. I'm just used to it. But and then obviously on fight night, I went out the first round and chucked everything at Sandy, and after the first round, Sandy's power and natural strength and stuff just kind of took over. And I remember in the third round, Andrew was saying to me, if I don't give anything this next round, it's gonna stop the fight. And obviously, that's what I did, because my health and my health and wellness comes first. And I trust my team to look after me in that department. And coming away, it made me realise that boxing's a weight making sport for a reason. And for the last couple of years now, I've been going into these fights at a disadvantage already with the weight and stuff. So I feel like coming down to my natural weight and going in on this next fight at lightweight, I'm going to be going in the ring with advantages. And I feel like I'm a natural big for the weight, for lightweight and these lower weights. So I'm excited really to get back out there and yeah, back to work really.
And your opponent is, of course, Rhiannon Dixon. What did you make of her title-winning performance against Karen Carabajal, and just generally how she's progressed so far?
Yeah, brilliant. I think she reminds me of myself. Obviously, she's come from white collar, no amateur background or anything like that. So I do like Rhiannon as a fighter, and as a person, she's great, and there's no ego or anything about her. She's just here to box and get the job done. So, but I do believe that I am a step up for Rhiannon, and this is where she gets to test herself and see what level she's truly at.
It's strange because the narrative around this fight is that, you're the veteran, you've been there before, you've seen it, done it. She's the kind of fresher prospect, kind of turned champion, if you like.
Yeah.
But she's actually a couple of years older than you. How much do you think experience is going to be a factor in this?
I think it's massive. Yeah, being we're going to be headlining. I know it's headlining by default, but it's the big nights, and the pressure can get to you if you don't know how to deal with it. So I think it's important that I remember that I've been here and done it many a times, and I got to use that to my advantage and really go out there and from round one really set the pace and let her know that she's not in the ring with a pushover really.
You say it's headlining by default, but they obviously had the option to scrap the show. I mean, they must believe in the fight and believe in you to have allowed it to carry on with you on the top.
Well, yeah, I believe so, and I'm doing everything I can now to be really pushing these tickets in the last couple of weeks. Like, for example, we're putting on complimentary coaches to the arena. Everyone who purchases a ticket off me will be entered into a cash prize draw at the end, and just stuff like that. Mainly as a thank you to the fans who have been buying tickets, and like the hotels have been booked, flights have been booked, and then the arena and dates been changed and stuff. And it's just a thank you to everyone who's continued to show the support throughout this camp.
And you said at the start you see this as your last roll of the dice. Does that make it the most important fight of your career then?
Yeah, I feel like 100%. I feel like there's no like, where do I go from this fight? If it doesn't go the way I want and the way I planned, what do I do there? I have to really have a sit down. Do I rebuild it in the small hall, or do I really want to do that, or is this where I call it a day with boxing? But I said it on a few interviews before. For now, that's getting pushed to one side, and I am fully focused on the job that I need to do. I want to obviously carry on boxing and being at this elite level, and I'll be going in there on the night with nothing holding me back really. It's mine to lose, so I'm going to be going in relentless really.
Without meaning to be too nosy, are you in a position where you need to box still, or could you walk away if you wanted to?
Well, I'd like to box because it pays
Yeah.
me well and stuff. But for me, like, I have a good life. I've got great people around me. I've got a great partner, and it doesn't. I know for a lot of fighters, they struggle to when to walk away and when to retire and stuff. And I just know that's something I know I'll never struggle to do. But yeah, like I do love boxing, and I love everything that it's brought to me over the years and stuff. But again, I do want to make sure I get a good win on the night and carry on my boxing. But if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, and I just roll with it.
And you mentioned your partner there. You've been over the years a very visible advocate for LGBTQ plus issues, a focal point on TV as well. When you see it become those issues becoming more prominent these days, do you feel like a bit of a pioneer? You've opened doors for other sports people.
Yeah, no, I think it's something that I've never really just pushed down people's throats or anything like that. I've just been open, true about who I am, and yeah, it's just for me now because for me, I want a big win for me and Gemma to go and enjoy and really sit back and think, yeah, we've done it. We've got a good win under his belt, and there's going to be some more good fights planned in the future. So yeah, I'm just doing it. These fights now are just for my future and really to cement everything and get financially stable and stuff like that, and go on to whatever else is next.
What could be next? So I know you're saying this is your last chance and you want to focus fully on it, but you must have had a look around the kind of lightweight landscape. What are the kind of options open to you should you come through?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of big fights. I think one of the main ones is Eddie he's always promised me that I'd fight in America, so I'm gonna hold him to that. And again, I'd like to have a rematch with Alicia. That's like no beef, and that's mainly just to test myself and see how much I've improved over the years. Obviously, I've not been able to make super featherweight, but if that fight ever was offered to me, I wouldn't refuse it, and I think it'd be a great one just to challenge myself and see the improvements I've made.
What about Katie Taylor, or do you think that one's gone by the wayside now? She might not have many left.
Yeah, I feel like everyone wants a little bit of Katie, so I'd probably be at the bottom of the queue for that one. So
Well, maybe not if you come through against Rhiannon Dixon and you've got a title to bring to the mix as well.
yeah, you never know. You can't. But the thing I've learned, and it's took me a while to learn it, but you can't plan future fights at all because boxing throws so many curveballs and you can go down so many different paths. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, the dream fight, obviously, Katie Taylor's the reason why I started boxing as a professional anyway. So she's someone who I've looked up to and idolised for years, and I think she's a great advocate for women's boxing and women's sport. And it would be amazing to say I've shared the ring with Katie.
Great stuff. So just before I let you go, just tell me and tell people out there, what can they expect from Terri Harper on the big night challenging for the belt against Rhiannon Dixon?
A whole new Terri Harper is coming on the 28th. I put in so much work into this training camp, and I've left no stone unturned. I've crossed all the boxes off that I've needed to. And again, like I said, this fight is mine to lose, so I'm really going out there relentless and getting a good win for everyone who's been there from the start to support me back at Sheffield.
We wish you the very best and we look forward to watching the fight.
Thank you, Dan.